try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government.
The year is 2025. A malicious banking cartel scrambles to adapt to a changing tide. Or die. The rise of Bitcoin, the first mathematically verifiably scarce commodity to be mass adopted in the history of mankind, begins an unfathomable ascent towards $1 million per coin. What used to take years now happens in days. Elites the world over are presented with a once-in-a-generation ultimatum. Overturn everything you've built and adopt a new technology that strips away your tyrannical authority, or fade into obscurity. With the rise of Bitcoin, entire new movements are formed, communities established, and old paradigms about the way that money has to operate are upended. For the first time in the history of the human species, we look forward to a brave new world rich with opportunities secured by blockchain technology, fused together by countercultural and libertarian ideals, and stamped with unshakable confidence in the very technology that brings us all together. Bitcoin. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about Bitcoin's continued and now resurgent ascent toward $100,000. That's right, I am quite confident that Bitcoin has bottomed out, that we're about to see a major rally to $100,000 and even higher. In fact, I believe that Bitcoin very soon will be rallying all the way up to $125,000 before the end of this cycle, likely trading up towards $250,000 before we get to our 2030 price prediction of nearly $1 million per coin, overturning the gold market capitalization. Sorry about my camera. I'm not sure why that's happening. And today we are going to be describing all of that in excruciating detail. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. It does seem like my camera is giving me some trouble, so we're going to go ahead and jump right on over to CoinMarketCap, and we will go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to the stream. If you are new here, my name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for, goodness, coming up closer to 8 years than 7 years now. And it has always been my dream to help you guys succeed when it comes to cryptocurrency. My dream has always been to see you guys grow your wealth, grow your knowledge, grow your wisdom. I want to see each and every single one of you grow financially, relationally, spiritually, and in this case, in your understanding of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets. So today we're going to be looking at exactly those. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and several other coins that you guys have your eyes on this cycle, and we're going to talk about where Bitcoin is heading next. Welcome everybody to the stream. Thank you all for being here. Big shout out to Joe Bollier, who was first in chat today. Said, good morning, Jeb. Philly Scales 1428 said, morning, Jeb and Crypto Fam. Good morning to you as well. Vin Man in chat said, morning, everyone. Queen's in chat. Cena's in chat. Jason Gusso is in chat. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Pat B said, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Schmedley B said, Happy New Year. Much love, brother. Happy New Year to you as well. Much love as well. Christopher Ryan's in chat. Queen in chat. Relax, it's Max said, loving the beard, sir. Thank you. Henry Blonhot said, Happy New Year's, my brother, from another mother. Praying numbers 624 through 26 for you. Thank you so much. Mitch said, Jeb, what's up? Grand Roofing Incorporated in chat. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We're going to be spending quite a bit of the time on the chart today because it does seem like my camera is wanting to freeze, but that is all right. We've run through technical difficulties before. We're not going to let them stop us this time. So without much further ado, let's get started. Bitcoin is currently trading at $96,440, and I don't think that's the end of it. No, I don't. Bitcoin has been in a major rally over the last 3 days. We originally bottomed out down here at $91,500, which is funny because I had a buy order at $91,500. We dropped down to $91,200. So my buy order called that perfectly. And after we dropped down there, that seemed to be the bottom indeed, because we have started to see a reversal on the MACD. MACD has become very bullish in recent days here on Bitcoin, moving towards that bullish MACD cross that we would like to see. We know that that would be very bullish for the space, or we would at least be able to predict that that'd be very bullish for the space, because the last 3 times that we've seen a bullish MACD cross of this caliber, we have seen a large rally to follow. MACD is generally an indicator that you don't want to ignore because it is generally correct. So when we see MACD bullish crosses, those are crosses that we will consider. Over the last 3 bullish MACD crosses that we've seen here on the daily chart, we have seen at least a 17% rally following within 14 days of the bullish MACD cross, if not significantly higher, with 17% being our smallest rally in the last 3 MACD crosses, and us still residing in a very similar market sentiment. It's not like we went into a bear market or anything. A 17% rally from, I don't know, probably $98,000 or $99,000 from where the MACD cross will actually occur, because remember, it hasn't happened yet, would give us a price target of well over $116,000, which would make sense as Bitcoin has been following this uptrending level of resistance right here to the T. We've been respecting it very, very nicely over the last month and a half, and it stands to reason that Bitcoin would be able to rally right back up to this price level relatively soon. And within this month, the month of January, this level of resistance rallies all the way up to nearly $130,000, which is an absolute amazing level that I would love to see Bitcoin go to. Now, I want to give us a bit of a recap. Obviously, I've been off of the stream here for a little while, just enjoying the holidays with our family, which has been wonderful. But that doesn't mean that nothing has happened. A lot has occurred while I've been away, and I want to go over a few of those things. First and foremost, the inauguration of President Donald Trump now stands only 18 days away, and most agree that on Inauguration Day or a few days thereafter, we're going to see an executive order to create the Bitcoin Strategic National Reserve. If that doesn't happen by executive order, there is still a great likelihood that that will happen as a result of an act of Congress, because now the Republicans have both the House and the Senate, and it would be very validated by the president himself, which honestly would be an even better way for the Strategic National Reserve to be created if it were to be created through the Congress, because it would be able to be fleshed out quite a bit more, since both branches of government would be cooperating on the creation thereof. We also have a lot of confidence that many other nations are now going to be adopting Bitcoin. We've got confidence now that Hong Kong is going to adopt Bitcoin. We've got confidence that Germany is going to adopt Bitcoin, as well as many others. Franklin Templeton, an asset manager for $1.5 trillion. Sorry, guys. This is just abysmal. Franklin Templeton, an asset manager. Let's see if we get it back. I'm here. This Camlink's about 5 years old. I think I'm going to order another one after the stream's over. Franklin Templeton, which is a $1.5 trillion, $1.5 trillion asset manager, one of the creators of the Bitcoin ETFs. They are saying that a lot of different nations are going to be adopting Bitcoin in the year of 2025. Not in the next 10 years, this year. Next 12 calendar months. And so when we look at that, we start to get a sense that CoinMarketCap is about to go freaking nuts. Do you ever look at CoinMarketCap and say, oh man, I remember CoinMarketCap. I remember CoinMarketCap from so many years ago. I get nostalgia looking at CoinMarketCap, because a third of my life ago, I was looking at CMC. And at the time, Bitcoin was trading at $2,900, $3,400, $5,000 in that kind of range. And the market cap was $80 billion, right? I mean, but Bitcoin's market cap when I got into the space would have put it after Solana. If it went to that market cap right now, it would be after Solana. It'd be number 7 on CoinMarketCap. And so I get this sense of nostalgia when I look at CoinMarketCap, but sometimes when I look at CoinMarketCap, I get a sense of present nostalgia, in the sense of wow, I'm looking at history being made. Do you ever look at somebody and you're like, man, you ought to be 50 years older. You act like you're 80 and retired. That's kind of how I feel about looking at CoinMarketCap. I feel like I'm looking at an old website that is still active today. It's almost like if you were to go back in time and you were to look at MySpace in that time and say, man, this just looks old. It's like you're from the future. I feel like I'm from the future sometimes, because I feel like I'm looking at history being made right here. Bitcoin trading at $96,000. I get the exact same feeling as when I think about in the past of Bitcoin trading at $9,600. It's the same feeling. I don't get a feeling of that was then, this is now. I get a feeling of that was then, and today is that was then. Because I'm so much confident that in a year, we're going to be looking at $200,000 on Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at $8,000 on Ethereum. We're going to be looking at $5 or more on XRP. And so we've got a lot of adoption coming to the Bitcoin space. If you have not seen my most recent video, I explained exactly why nation states are going to adopt Bitcoin. Since the end of the Second World War, Let's see if my camera's cooperating with me here. Nope. Since the end of the Second World War, we have seen a huge shift in geopolitics. This was kind of an interesting angle that I think you'll find fun. We've seen a massive shift in geopolitics, and that shift has been one away from open warfare to a more non-bloody form of warfare. Wow. Man, okay, we're just totally going to stay on the charts today. That's crazy. We've shifted away from a more open kind of warfare to a more passive kind of warfare, where countries and economies now battle on the economic stage. And they do so with their currencies, which is why we'll just go back to the olden days. First 2 years of the channel, I did not have a face cam, so we'll just go back to the olden days and do it that way. Which is why when you look at the central bank balance sheet, right, or the Federal Reserve central bank balance sheet, the bank balance sheet, right? Where is it? Anyway, if you look at the Federal Reserve balance sheet, we'll look at that in just a second. When you look at that, you can see that the Fed is trying to adjust its balance sheet to compete with the other currencies of the world. You can see when we look at the effective federal funds rate. When we look at the effective federal funds rate, the Fed is trying to adjust interest rates to compete with other nations around the world, because no longer do we drop, 1,000 bombs on somebody when we don't like them. We try and compete with them on a currency, from the standpoint of a currency. And so when we try and compete from the standpoint of currency, what ends up happening is that we, as nations, the United States especially, they manipulate the strength of manipulate different variables that impact the strength of the dollar to ensure that this one chart, the DXY, the dollar currency index, the DXY, stays as strong as possible. The Fed has two mandates: low unemployment, low inflation. But their true mandate is to maintain the strength of the dollar. And so the Fed feels like they're doing a good job when the strength of the dollar is going up, because the stronger the dollar is, the stronger the economic muscle is that the United States possesses. Am I making sense now? It's no longer military might that determines the strength of a nation, although it is, especially when you're trying to intimidate a nation much smaller than you that doesn't have nukes that you could invade if you wanted to. I'm not saying that military might doesn't have anything to do with geopolitical power projection. What I am saying is that military might doesn't have as much impact on, say, Russia. Russia knows we're not going to invade them. We know Russia's not going to invade us because we both got nukes. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be open warfare unless some idiot gets in office and wants to commit suicide to the tune of 3 billion deaths. It's not going to happen. So instead, nations, especially the nuclear nations, which are all of the developed nations of the world and their close allies, so France, Britain, the United States, all of those being NATO members, so everybody else in NATO is under the NATO nuclear umbrella. So that's almost 30 nations of the world, about half of the developed nations in the world. You've got China as a nuclear participant. You've got Israel as a nuclear participant. You've got Russia as a nuclear participant. None of these nations are going to go into open warfare, which is why we've seen less bloodshed in the last 70 years since the development of the bomb. But that didn't get rid of the natural tendency of humans to compete with each other. Am I making sense here? How the heck does this apply to Bitcoin, Jeb? I thought I was learning about Bitcoin. I didn't know that I was in history class. Hey, hang on. These nations never stopped wanting to compete with each other. They just can't do so with bullets and steel anymore. So how do they do it? They do so by competing with their economies. What underpins a strong economy? A strong currency. What underpins a strong currency? A strong commodity. Let me explain that. A strong economy comes from a strong currency. Why? Because if you do not have a strong currency, then you remove the incentive for the citizenry to invest in the future because they don't believe in the currency with which their investments are denominated in. A country that does not have a strong currency also probably does not have a strong sense of property rights, which means it's not safe to invest in real estate, which means there's probably not a developed stock market, or if there is a developed stock market, you don't trust it because it's based on an unstable currency. We see this happen all the time in China. Their stock market is extremely volatile because their currency is extremely volatile. That's why everyone moves to the dollar, because while the dollar is volatile and while the dollar does inflate by at least 2% a year, as is the target of the Fed, They still move to the dollar because it's the most stable of the currencies. But what is the dollar backed in? Well, the dollar is not on a gold standard anymore, but much of its stability does come from the fact that there are gold reserves. The hardness of the United States dollar is driven by a multitude of factors. Number one, and primarily, it is driven by the policy of the Federal Reserve, and the policy of the Federal Reserve is to keep the dollar the strongest currency in the world by any means necessary, even if it means short-term, self-inflicted harm to the United States economy through the raising of interest rates. The other factor that impacts the strength of the United States dollar is the strength of the United States military. But there's a third factor that impacts the strength of the United States dollar, and that's the strength of the United States' balance sheet. In other words, the strength of the United States accounting. The United States is in $35 trillion of debt and has nary an asset to cover a bit of that. And so the strength of the dollar is declining every year on a chart that you can't see, which is the real sense. You can't see how much strength the dollar is losing every single year because we denominate everything in dollars. There's nothing to put on the other axis because dollars over what? That question of dollars over what? What's the what? It's Bitcoin. I hope you can see how this is piecing together. Countries around the world compete with each other because they don't like each other because they're different. And when they compete with each other, they can't shoot each other anymore, so they try and stab each other in the back with economics. The main way that you drive a strong economy, other than strong policy, is with a strong currency. The way that you drive a strong currency is by being backed with good policy, a strong military, and, importantly, some kind of commodities or assets to underpin the value of the currency. And so when we see the United States dollar doing very well, a big part of the reason for that is because the U.S. holds a buttload of gold. They hold an absolute thousands of metric tons of gold. It's a strategic national reserve. It's not just that. The United States also holds strategic reserves of oil, strategic reserves of corn, strategic reserves of iron and steel. There's strategic reserves of all kinds of things. And those strategic reserves that basically say you can do whatever the hell you want to us, but we're going to be okay for this amount of time. It's basically like the United States' savings account. We've got oil in savings. We've got gold in savings, right? And so it creates this sense of economic muscle. I am significantly more confident to invest today than I ever have been in the entire history of my financial journey because we have major savings accounts for the business and for our personal accounts. I can go be hog wild investing all I want because I know that if crap hits the fan, we've got savings. And so the nation that has the strongest commodity reserves is able to be the most aggressive on the economic stage. Aggression tempered with wisdom leads to prosperity and victory. And so the United States under Donald Trump understands that if we adopt Bitcoin, then we will have stronger reserves than anyone else because the United States can acquire more Bitcoin than anyone else, which will allow the United States economy to be more powerful than anyone else, which will allow Donald Trump to continue to expand the influence of the United States overseas as he has always wanted to do. And every other nation around the world will see that the United States is adopting Bitcoin and understand that if they want a fighting chance in the next 20 years, 30 years, the rest of this century, they're going to have to adopt Bitcoin to underpin their currencies as well. Because the big dog adopted it. As soon as we got the bomb, if Russia didn't want to disappear, Russia was going to have to develop the bomb as well, and so they did. Because eventually we would have invaded them. The Cold War would have gone a lot differently if only we had the bomb. We would have invaded Russia. They would never have created the Russian Revolution never would have produced the Soviet Union if the Russians did not develop the bomb. And they know it because their GDP, because they invested 25% of their GDP into military. We invested 3% of our GDP into military, and we still had the bigger military. We would have invaded them and it would have been over. Had they not adopted the new technology of the atom bomb, they would have been annihilated. Russia, as you know, it would have fragmented into 30 different small nation states warring with each other, and it would look like Afghanistan over there. if they had not developed the bomb. And that is what will happen to any nation that does not adopt Bitcoin. This is a foregone conclusion. So when I look at CoinMarketCap and I see Bitcoin trading here at $96,000, I'm like, only $96,000? Oh my gosh, that's a steal. And so that brings me to kind of today's today's analysis. Bitcoin's about to rally back up above $100,000, and it's going to stay up there. I mean, it could come back down again for a little while, but we're going to spend pretty much the rest of Bitcoin's entire history well above $100,000. Could we go into a bear market that could drop us down into the 50s? Heck yeah, of course we could. We could drop down to $50,000. We could drop down to $60,000. You know what I'm going to do down there? I'm going to be buying coins, plural. I don't care. Because the future is not set in stone, but it's one step away from being set in stone. It is so apparent. It is so blatantly obvious what the future holds for this market that it would be foolish, in my opinion, for you not to have some portion of your allocation in Bitcoin. So let's talk a little bit about the short-term technicals. Bitcoin right now is approaching a bullish cross on the MACD, which is quite exciting, as you guys know. We just looked at that a little while ago, how that is likely going to be a very bullish event for Bitcoin. Take a sip of my coffee here. I feel like such a millennial. I went to the gym last night on the 1st of January, and then I had avocado toast and coffee for this morning. I am a millennial. I'm not a millennial. I'm actually a Gen Zer, I guess. Is that it? A Gen Zer. Let's see if I'll come back. Ha! I did it. But yes. So let's talk a little bit about where Bitcoin is going to go before my camera cuts out here again. And when it does, we'll switch to this chart. I'll go ahead and order another piece of it. I know a piece of equipment is faulty. We'll order another one after stream. But the bullish MACD cross is incoming. That is going to lead us into a major uptrend here on Bitcoin, which will likely allow us to hit $100,000. And frankly, I think we'll break it pretty easily. A lot of people have been taking profits, which is what this was. This is not the end of the bull market kind of corrective movement. I'll show you what that looks like. The end of the bull market correction looks a lot more like this. As you can see here, Bitcoin dropped 38% in 25 days. That was the end of the 2021 bull market. It was the beginning of the 2022 bear market. 38% crash in 25 days. Bitcoin has been correcting ever since its all-time high at 108 to the bottom for 13 days. We dropped 16%. This is not uncommon. In this bull market alone, Bitcoin has dropped over 20%, no fewer than 5 times. We saw it happen one time here in early 2023. We saw a 21% correction. Later on that year, we saw a 23% correction. Then later on that year, we again saw a 21% correction. So that's a third time here. Here we saw a 23% correction in 14 days, deeper correction than we saw here. That's the 5th time. Then we saw a 22% correction here for a fifth time. Yes. Then we see a 26% correction here for a 6th time. Then we see a 30% correction in 6 days here for a 7th time. And you want to tell me that because Bitcoin has dropped 15% in 14 days and it is bouncing with a bullish MACD cross incoming, that the bull market is over? Are you kidding me? Is that crack you're smoking? No, the bull market is not over. The bull market is not even close to over. Man, these freeze frames of my face when the camera goes out are just hilarious. I just need to screen grab all of these, make them into our thumbnail templates. The bull market is nowhere near over. I need to help you reframe your perspective on this. The bull market is nowhere near over. We have an enormous bull market ahead of us because of everything that I just informed you about. Nation states are starting to compete. Let's put it this way. Here's probably an easy way to put it. The 2016-17 bull market was the bull market where individuals... Here, let's put it like this. The 2012 bull market was where programmers, futurists, and nerds competed. The 2016-17 bull market is where early adopter, still nerds, but just kind of people competed. This is the bull market that I got into, the second bull market in Bitcoin's history. The third bull market is where we started seeing companies competing with Bitcoin. We saw Tesla adopt Bitcoin. We saw MicroStrategy adopt Bitcoin. We also saw a small nation adopt Bitcoin. That would be El Salvador. We saw NYSE, parent ICE, create create, their trading exchange, right? Backed. This bull market, the fourth major bull market in the history of the Bitcoin space, is where you see the world's largest companies, and this is where you see the world's largest countries competing. Nerds and futurists, early adopters, small companies and small countries, everyone. This one's different by a lot. This is not going to look like what you've seen before. You have never seen $1 trillion flow into the space in a month. Actually, I take that back. You have. You saw it happen 2 months ago. But you've never seen the kind of increase come to Bitcoin that you're going to. We've got to remember, back here, a few years back, we were not watching the United States be on the cusp of buying 1 million Bitcoin. We were not watching Germany about to buy Bitcoin, Hong Kong about to buy Bitcoin. We did not see BlackRock's ETF accumulate 500,000 Bitcoin alone in less than a year. We saw none of that. Larry Fink hated Bitcoin. Donald Trump hated Bitcoin back here. Two of the most powerful men on planet Earth. They despised the orange pill. They thought it tasted bitter and they spit it out of their mouth. And now they can't get enough of it because they're addicted to it. Larry Fink realizes that he can lead his company, BlackRock, to continue to be the world's most powerful financial institution on planet Earth for another 2 decades if they front run with Bitcoin, and only if they front run with Bitcoin. And Donald Trump realizes he can lead the most powerful nation on planet Earth to continue to be the most powerful nation on planet Earth if and only if he adopts Bitcoin. People say, oh, is Trump going to make good on his promise to adopt Bitcoin? You bet your bottom dollar he is. I'd bet money on it. In fact, I do every time I buy Bitcoin. Part of the reason I'm buying Bitcoin is because I believe that sovereign nations, including the United States, are going to buy Bitcoin. So we ask ourselves the question, where's the FUD coming from? It's coming from short-sightedness. It's coming from fear. It's coming from lack of conviction. The people that succeed in the long run did their research. They did deep research, and they stand with unshakable conviction. The reason that I come on this camera and I'm willing to lose 90% of my audience, 100% of my audience if I have to, because I'm going to tell you about the Lord Jesus Christ, is because I've done the research. People say, Jeb, you're a scientist. You're so smart. How are you a Christian? Have you ever thought that maybe I did spend thousands of hours researching the Bible and Christ also? Did you ever think that I did use the intellect that I do have, that God gave me, to do my research on that? And that's why I stand on conviction with it, because I know it's true. It's the same thing with Bitcoin, although obviously not as important. With Bitcoin, I have done the research. I've spent the last nearly a decade understanding this movement. I am able to stand with such conviction on it that I'm willing to invest more in Bitcoin than in any other investment vehicle that we have access to. More than we do in real estate, more than we do in stocks, more than we do in any altcoin. Again, perfect. I mean, that's just, look at that. That is just a perfect freeze frame. That right there needs to go on a thumbnail. Like, hands up, don't shoot. Like, that's it. I stand with such conviction on Bitcoin because I've done the research. I've been here. I've been around the block. I've watched it. People that succeed, here's your nugget of wisdom. People that succeed with investment, they do the research and they figure out what to be convicted about, and they stand on it like an alpha. I believe with every fiber of my being that Bitcoin will be trading at $1 million per coin at some point in the medium-term future. 7 to 13, 14 years, somewhere in that range. Bitcoin will be trading at $1 million per coin. I have the vision and the wisdom based on my experience and on my research to look into the future and say, that's coming. And so if that's coming, then why would I not make an investment in Bitcoin today that will produce a harvest 10, 11, 12, 15, 20-fold? Why would I not do that? I have built our financial portfolio into a place where I have enormous amounts of disposable income that I can dump into investments. Why would I not buy Bitcoin? Why would you not buy Bitcoin? Ask yourself that question. Do you stand with conviction on Bitcoin? If not, then you need to. You do not have the financially responsible option to not stand with conviction on Bitcoin, whether it is conviction for or against Bitcoin. But it is too important of a financial instrument in the modern world to not have a firm opinion on. You need to make up your mind, and you need to do it quickly because things are changing rapidly. Do you actually believe in Bitcoin or do you not? If you do, then do something about it. If you do not, fine, do something about it. If you think Bitcoin is the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of mankind, then forget it and go buy gold. Do I agree with that position? No, but at least you are standing in some kind of conviction. If you are like me and you do believe that Bitcoin is one of the most revolutionary pieces of financial technology in the history of the world, what are you doing about it? We buy Bitcoin every single day. Every day without fail, we buy Bitcoin. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes we put a dollar cost average. Sometimes we raise our dollar cost average. Sometimes we lower it. Sometimes we do a lump sum. Sometimes we don't do a lump sum. But whether it's $1 or some days $5,000, $10,000, we buy Bitcoin every day. We have a DCA and then we invest on top of that. And we set the DCA to whatever we can do that month, right? I put my money where my mouth is. I actually genuinely believe in Bitcoin, and I believe you should too. Let's read a little bit of chat. I really appreciate all of you guys being here, and thank you for the grace about the camera. When you do a live stream 200, 250 days a year, sometimes technical difficulties occur. So let's go ahead and read some chat here. Altcoins are the recreation of the current system. Why would you continue that system? Yeah, no, the altcoins are doing incredible things, and there are a lot of altcoins that are going to do very well. We're going to talk more about some of them as well. Your username could be crypto religion. Sound like a preacher in an awesome way. Bitcoin is king. Yeah, I'm not, I don't believe in religions. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and some people call Christianity a religion. Ultimately, I'm not actually the biggest fan of that term because a lot of evil has been done in the name of religion. I serve the Lord Jesus, and that is my intention, and I fall short of that all the time, and I ask for his forgiveness whenever I do, whenever it comes to my attention that I do. But at the end of the day, he is the king. And you must surrender your life to him or there are consequences. He loves you. He wants you to have a wonderful life. He wants to bless you. Christ's vision for this world is to redeem it and create a new creation where there is no crying, where there is no weeping, where there is no pain. But you have two options. Either get on the train or you're not on the train. You get left behind, and you do not want to miss the train that is leading to the kingdom of God. Good morning and Happy New Year, Queen. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to Shadrach Frost, Chino, Crypto Keef. Let's see. Hi, Cat. Cat's in chat. John Doe's in chat. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Yep. Shadrach Truth said, preach the truth, brother. That's true. It's all true. Happy New Year. I see the camera's frozen on Jeb. Good start. I know it, man. It's so cold outside. The camera froze. Let's hit the like button now. It only takes a second and truly supports this channel. Let's show Jeb some love and appreciation for all he brings to us every day. Thanks, friends. Thank you. Kryptoni said, keep the beard. I need a poll in chat. I'm going to put a poll in chat. Should I keep the beard? I'm pretty sure most of you are going to say no. But I am curious. I grew it over the holidays, because why not? Let's see. Am I able to put a poll in chat here on my phone? Let's see. You'd think I would know this by now. No, I'm not able to. Okay. Well, we're going to freeze frame on my face here for a second so I can put the poll in chat. Let's see if I can. Are we back? Boom. All right. Let's put a poll in chat. Should I keep the beard? I think I know where the poll is going to go, but it'll be funny. Yeah. I think I know what the answer to the poll is going to be. Keep the beard? Yes? No? All right. Start of the poll. Yes, no, or grow it longer and shape it up. Because that's a fair answer too. It does need to be tended to a little bit. Keep it until it warms up for me. That is April. All right. Should I keep the beard? Wow. No way. Holy cow, the votes are coming in. Jeez. You guys are liking the beard. I did not expect that. I can grow a beard. I just don't. Huh. Keep the beard. 41 votes, 40 votes, 73% say yes. Cool. I was not expecting that. Did Jesus have a beard? Probably. The Jews typically keep very long hair. Very long beards, excuse me. Not very long hair, very long beards. So yes, Jesus most likely had a beard. I don't know that for sure, but I would imagine he did, culturally. Cool. I'm really shocked by that. I thought it was going to be like 10% of you guys say keep the beard. It looks good, Jeb. Thank you. Brother, beards are in. Oh, I know beards are in. I know beards are in. No, beards are in, and I love it too because people have been making a comeback with the beard, and it's a good look. It's a good look. I don't know if I can rock it. You guys will have to tell me. I'm not very confident in my beard, as you can tell. Like, I don't know if it looks good. You can tell me what you think. All right. Jesus was a Jew. The more you know. Yeah, of course he was a Jew. The Jews are God's chosen people. Always were, still are. A lot of them just haven't realized that Christ was the fulfillment of the messianic prophecy that they're looking forward to. Anyway, let's keep it moving here. Timothy donated £5, £5 actually. Tima is in perfect buying zone. Today, more exchange listing announcements coming up. Can cross all-time high of 65 million within 48 hours. Wow, might do it. Might do it. I don't know. All right, let's keep it moving here. Got a lot to cover. Let's take a look at some of our altcoins. Ethereum is currently trading at 34.70. I believe that Ethereum is going to have an extremely bullish 2024. I don't think it's even gotten started yet, and I also think that that a lot of the growth that has happened in the last 3 months is not priced in. I think that there is. See, my brain works in mysterious ways, just like the Lord. One of the things I've realized is that. Actually, I take that back. I do have a way to describe this because I have a teaching on this. It's something that I call the underlying intrinsic value. Sometimes I have to go back into my brain and be like, wait a minute, I have a dictionary of definitions in my head that I need to put out into the Financial Sovereignty Academy. One of them is the underlying intrinsic value. Over time, Bitcoin or any asset's underlying intrinsic value increases. That is the kind of theoretical price that the asset really should be trading at. It might not be trading there, but it would make sense for it to be trading there based on all market variable. And so when you look at something like Ethereum, there is a great tendency for its underlying intrinsic value to grow, right? It's almost like if you were to take a really long-term moving average through it. It's kind of this idea that because of certain events, it adds to the fair market value. People have also called it the fair market value. I call it the underlying intrinsic value, the fair market value of the asset. And so Ethereum, I think we would all agree, had far less prospects when it hit $4,800 in 2021, actually January 1st of 2022. I'm sorry, November and December of 2021 than it does now. One of those would be none other than the I'm freeze frame, probably. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Am I freeze frame? I'm actually not. Wow, cool. But one thing that Ethereum did not have at the time was a mass adopting ETF. If you can see here, there was a huge surgence of adoption into the Ethereum ETFs. The Ethereum ETF flows, right? Massive amount of adoption going on since the election of President Donald Trump. It has nearly tripled its it has nearly tripled the amount of assets that it's managing. It's almost here. It's still very far below where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's still like, 5-6 times bigger. But what we're seeing right now is a huge just skyrocketing on the amount of assets under management with the Ethereum ETFs. And so we're likely going to see that continue. And that has not been priced in. It's not been priced in at all. Ethereum is actually still sitting below some of the highs that were set not that long, quite a while ago, right? After the election, we saw everything rally, but Ethereum didn't really manage to break even $4,000. $4,000 was hit back when Bitcoin hit all-time high at $73,800. We hit 4K, then we hit 4K again. And so a lot of price discovery still needs to happen. A lot of bullishness on Ethereum has not occurred yet, but the actual events that will lead to the bullishness have occurred, which is almost like you get this tension built up and built up and built up, and then it needs to go somewhere, and eventually it's going to lead into this big rally, because right now it looks like Ethereum's building a giant inverse head and shoulders pattern. So there is an explosive rally coming, like a jack-in-a-box kind of rally coming to Ethereum sometime in the next 6 months. We don't know exactly when. It'll likely be predicated on some big Bitcoin rally that'll lead Ethereum above 4K. After it gets above 4K, then all bets are off. It's going to go to 4,800, and then from there, it's going to end up going on a major rally up towards probably $8,000 to $10,000. This market is not done yet. You can see the long-term appreciation in the base price of the asset. You see the double top here on $4,000. It's very apparent that with the with 2025 looking the way that it does, that rally is going to continue. Let's talk a little bit about Binance. Binance has broken its recent all-time high around 650. It has rallied up to a new all-time high around 800. I'm very confident that's going to hit at least $1,000 this cycle. Very simple reason for that. Binance has become a mass-adopted cryptocurrency. Binance is one of the largest exchanges in the entire community. It is the largest exchange in the entire community, actually. It's worth over $100 billion. And a little over a year ago, when CZ, Changpeng Zhao, stepped down as a result of prosecution by United States law enforcement agencies, Binance had to elect a new CEO, had to have a new CEO put in place. Well, the exchange has crossed a very serious milestone that any business has to go through eventually, and that is when the founder steps away. When the founder of a company steps away and the company is still able to expand, that proves that the company has reached maturity. Binance has reached that full-blown maturity and is growing rapidly even without CZ's direct leadership. With $170 billion of assets under management, it has grown remarkably. This is not a Binance ad, by the way. It's just the truth. Binance sees $76 billion of daily trading volume, and they hold themselves 250,000 Bitcoin. Actually, I take that back. In just this one area, they hold 250,000 Bitcoin. In this wall, they hold another 100,000 Bitcoin. In this wall, they hold another 50,000 Bitcoin. They have, let's see how much Bitcoin they have. They have $54 billion worth of Bitcoin. They're holding almost 400,000 Bitcoin themselves. Now, obviously, those are user deposits, but it is one of the largest assets in the game. So when you're buying into Binance, you're actually almost buying into an index fund of everything that Binance, the exchange, is holding. In a similar way that when you buy into MicroStrategy, you're buying into Bitcoin. And so Binance is a coin that is most likely going to perform very well this cycle because it is almost a way of investing in like a hedge fund of all the other assets while also investing in a profitable business. And so Binance is going to perform very well this cycle, and I definitely think that acquiring some Binance would not be a bad idea at all. The one drawdown concern about buying Binance is that you are buying a coin with a company's name on it. So if the company goes south, then you run the risk of the coin going south, but that is the same risk that you run whenever you buy a stock of any kind. Binance coin has that same kind of risk and exposure that buying a certain stock does. Company makes a terrible decision, you lose money. But in general, it is an asset that looks like it's primed to perform very well this cycle. XRP, Solana, and Cardano. I want to kind of group all three of these together. They're all kind of these tertiary coins after Bitcoin and ETH. They're all kind of sitting here competing with each other, doing similar but not exactly the same things, and all of them are probably going to go on major runs. XRP and Cardano both are probably going to hit at least $5 to $10. Solana is going to probably hit at least $500 to $600. A 2 to 3, maybe even a 4x in some of these coins is likely this cycle. Cumulatively, these three coins will probably appreciate to be worth over $1 trillion between the three of them. We do hold all three of them in our portfolio, and they are picks that I highly recommend you investigating. Chainlink is going to perform very well this cycle as well. Have a lot of confidence in Chainlink. Big part of the reason for that is simply that Chainlink has not even gone back to its previous all-time high, but its adoption is probably 10x'd since it hit $53 almost 3 years ago here. When it hit $53, it had not secured anywhere near as many transactions. The rest of the cryptocurrency space was nowhere near as large. So Chainlink is still definitely looking at, or most likely looking at, a very large rally to come, probably up to 50 to even maybe even $75 billion in market cap, probably at least $100 on Chainlink. We made a price prediction a long time ago of $100 Chainlink, and I still stand by that. Polkadot is doing a lot. Uniswap is doing a lot. Let's see. Near Protocol is doing a lot. Not a big fan of Litecoin. Sorry. Love you, Litecoin. Not the biggest fan. VeChain is doing a lot. Very excited about VeChain. Let's see. Kaspa. Where's Kaspa? Kaspa's down here just a little bit further. Kaspa, I'm very excited about. They are competing with Litecoin, doing Litecoin's own thing, but doing it better. Kaspa is sitting here waiting to go into a major rally. Hasn't happened yet, but it's probably going to. It's probably going to break out of this range, rally all the way up to maybe even $10 billion in market capitalization, if not higher. Let's see if my camera's working. Nope. Here's the bottom line. Let's get about a minute of face cam time here. Hi. The bottom line is this. The entire cryptocurrency space is still in this kind of priming stage. We have not, as of yet, launched. We are still sitting here in the T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We're still in that mode, right? We're booster ignition. And here in a few months, we're going to hear launch, and everybody's going to make a lot of money, right? We're going to go to the moon, as it were, which means you still have time to acquire. and there's still returns that can be generated in this cycle. But you kind of need to make haste about it. So how should you do that? Well, it is the first stream of the year, so I think it prudent for me to go over our core teaching, which are the laws of money in the financial sovereignty way. Quickly, we have 7 laws of money. The zeroth law of money is that it's not your money, it's God's, so obey him with it if you want a blessing with it. Okay, he created it, so he knows how best to steward it for growth and for your success. So obey him. It's not yours, it's his. It's on loan to you from the creator of the universe. He loves you enough to want to see you to be blessed with your money. So he's going to tell you in the other 6 laws of money how to use it. The first law of money is to choose to be financially sovereign. What does that mean? That is a natural human tendency, just like I have a natural human tendency to want to throw this cam link out the flipping window right now. It's a natural human tendency to want to control the things around you that are controllable, such as, wow, okay, we're just going to go on chart. Literally, it took me, it came back on for like 3 seconds. The first law of money is to choose to be financially sovereign, which means to control those things which are controllable. So for me, I'm going to be buying another cam link, and I'm also going to buy a backup, so that if that ever happens again, then I can step away for 3 seconds, fix it, and we'll be good. That is me choosing to be sovereign over this piece of technology in my streaming setup so that I don't run into these technical difficulties anymore. This is a good example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to be in control of whether or not the camera goes out. Right now, I'm not, because I don't have a spare cam link, but I'm going to make sure that that changes so that I don't run into this issue again. The first law of money is to be financially sovereign. If there's an issue in your money, then you get control over it and you stop it from happening to the best of your ability. The second law of money is to live on less than you make. You can only drive towards a cliff for so long before you fall off of the cliff. And good luck if you don't have a parachute. Most don't. You're going to go bankrupt and it's going to ruin your life. Oh, but Jeb, I don't need money. I'm happy. I just live on the streets. I'll just be a happy guy. Oh yeah, and then you'll die young because you don't have health insurance. You'll get injured and you can't do anything about it, so you'll get sepsis. Like, not having financial security is a real curse. It really is. Go to a third world country. Go there for a week. Help somebody dig a well. You'll see what people live like. Most people in this world have no money and no resources, and it's not just, oh, well, I just don't have the newest iPhone. No, it's like I'm starving to death and I can't do anything about it. Financial security is important, and if you spend more of your money than you have, you will lose all of your money and you will go broke. The Bible says that in the house of the wise man, there are choice oils, and in the house of the foolish, they eat everything they have, they devour it all up, there's nothing left. Live on less than you make. Third law of money, we must have a written plan for our money. Jesus tells us to count the cost of our salvation. When you choose to follow Jesus Christ, in the short term, your life will get harder. In the same way that when you invest for the future, you have to live on less because you're investing some. Your life gets harder when you follow Jesus because it's not easy to repent of sin that you find enjoyable. It's not easy to face persecution because people don't like that you're bold about your faith. It's not fun for me to have you guys hate on me in the chat because, oh, he's just some religious nut job. That's not fun for me to see, but it's what I have to do. But in the future, I will be told, well done, my good and faithful servant. If I do it in the right heart, I do it consistently, and I follow Christ. We have to choose to count the cost of our salvation. How much more, how much less, but how much still should we count the cost of our money? Should we see how much it costs? We need to have a budget. We need to have a written plan. We need to have an investment plan. We need to have some kind of understanding of where the market is going. For us, for right now, we're doing technical analysis, saying, look, Bitcoin looks like it's about to rally. We're kind of building out a plan of this is why things coming. This is what we're going to do if that happens. That's the third law of money. Fourth law of money is we avoid debt. Now, I know that people think that this is getting complicated because the fiat currencies around the world are failing, but the bottom line is we try and avoid debt wherever possible. Can you succeed with it, especially if you play the game? Yeah, you can. Is it something that everyone can do? No. Is it something that everyone should do? No. And you definitely should not be taking out debt for assets that go down in value, which are really just liabilities, in my opinion, or pretty much anything else for that matter. The fifth law of money is we want to save and invest, and the sixth law of money is we want to be radically generous. Why? Because God loves a generous giver, and you will reap what you sow. If you put generosity down into the ground, you will reap a harvest for that. We're not generous because we don't think about generosity like an investment. No, we think about generosity as a selfless act of serving another person at a cost to us because we love them more than us. That's the definition of generosity. But while doing it, we know that God will bless our generosity if it's in the right heart. And so when we follow the laws of money, we will succeed. You think, Jeb, well, how the heck does that have anything to do with Bitcoin? That has everything to do with Bitcoin. It's not your Bitcoin, it's God's. So obey him with it. He created the universe. He loaned it to us for us to steward it. He didn't give it to us entirely. It's his creation, not ours. We are able to use it because he allows us to wake up today. So we will obey him if we want to succeed. First law of money, choose to be financially sovereign. How do we do that in Bitcoin? Well, we choose to say, hey, I need to be in control of my Bitcoin. I'm going to make sure I have the security down on lock. I'm going to make sure that I'm actually acquiring the Bitcoin. I'm going to make sure that I am making sure that I'm not letting anyone untrustworthy around my Bitcoin. I'm making sure that the seed phrase is safe, right? I'm choosing to be in control of the Bitcoin. I'm choosing to be in control from a spiritual standpoint, from a mental standpoint of saying I'm doing the research to understand what's coming so that I can be a wise steward of it. I'm choosing to be a good steward who is financially sovereign over my Bitcoin. Second law of money, living on less than we make. If you want Bitcoin, you got to buy it. Guess what? It costs money. You want money? Live on less money than you bring in so that you have money to invest. That's very simple how that applies. Jeb, this is so basic. Yeah, but are you doing it? Jeb, I need a silver bullet. Yep, but are you doing this? We can talk all day about portfolio distributions and exits and all that, and I do that in financial coaching all the time, but what we need to get right first are these laws. These are the basics. Don't tell me you're going to go to the NFL and you can't run a mile without going, no, you're not going to the NFL. You're going to the treadmill, or worse, you're going to the heart doctor. Get the basics figured out, put down the pride, humble yourself, and realize you're not as good at this as you think you are. You got to get the basics right. One of the basics is you need to quit spending all your money on Chick-fil-A so that you can spend some money on Bitcoin. You're not as good at this as you think you are. Hell, I'm not as good at this as I think I am. Certainly not as good at this as you think I am. I am good enough at it to know what I'm talking about to teach it, but my gosh, I don't have it all figured out. Third law of money, is we're going to have a written plan for our money. What does that mean? Well, Jeb, it means that we need to have a plan for when we're investing in Bitcoin. Jeb, what's your plan for investing in Bitcoin? We invest in Bitcoin every single day. It's a simple plan that runs on automation. I don't touch it. It just happens. I sleep and I buy Bitcoin. It's awesome. For whatever reason, the exchange we use just triggers the buy at random times during the day. So I wake up sometimes like, oh, we got more Bitcoin. Cool. We have a plan. I also have cash reserves that if I see a dip, and there's cash in those cash reserves. If there's not, then we don't. But if there's cash in those cash reserves, I say, boom, buying. I like that. I'm lowering the average cost basis. Let's say we're 10% below the average cost basis of the portfolio. I'm buying some. Heck yeah. If I can ever bring down the average cost basis of the portfolio, I'm going to buy some. Fourth law of money. We avoid debt. We've cleared out all of our consumer debt. We had consumer debt. We paid it all off. It's all gone. Every last bit of it. Working on paying off our mortgage, but frankly, I'm not in as big of a hurry to pay off our mortgage as I used to be because I got Bitcoin right here. I want to pay off the mortgage. Our plan is still to pay it off in under 10 years. We could theoretically pay it off right now if we wanted to, but we're going to pay it off in under 10 years. Kind of the goal is by the time our oldest son's around 10 to 11, we'll be mortgage free. We'll be moving into that second half of his childhood and the later half of all of our kids' childhood, debt free, mortgage free, all of that. And then, so that's the only debt that we have. Other than that, we have everything else paid off. We did a long time ago. Chose to be financially sovereign. We're paying off our mortgage early. You know, we put extra money into it, but we're putting a lot more money every month into Bitcoin than we do into the mortgage because I believe that we'll have higher returns there. But at the end of the day, we're following that law of money, the fourth law of money. We're avoiding debt. The fifth law of money is we're saving and investing. Well, what's your savings rate? I love our new budgeting app. We use Monarch now. I moved everything over to Monarch. It's great. It gives you a savings rate. It actually calculates your savings rate for you, which is awesome. I love that. It calculates the savings rate for you and says you have saved this percentage of your income. I love seeing that. How much percentage of your income are you saving and investing? It's very important. Are you putting that into Bitcoin? Are you putting that into something that you reasonably expect is going to be worth more in 5 to 10 years than it is right now? If not, start. And the sixth law of money is to be radically generous. I'm not going to get into our generosity because I'm not here to brag. I'm not here to do my alms before you or anyone else except for God. But I will at least say this. Our heart and our action is to be generous where we can be. We want to be generous and bless people because we know that that is what God would have us to do with our money. And we know that that is what brings true joy. And we also know that that is what is going to bring true success in the long run, is by helping other people. And so that is where we are trying our best to follow the laws of money. And as we do that, we know that we will have a blessing as a result of that. So please make a decision today to say, I'm going to choose the laws of money. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to do what they say. And then I'm going to be able to see success like that. All right, let's read a little bit of chat. Jeb, is Monarch a wallet? No, it's a money management tool. It's a budgeting app. It's a net worth tracker. It's everything. In personal finance, I encourage everyone that I do coaching with to have one app to rule them all that brings in all of their financial data in one place. Now, Monarch doesn't bring in credit score and all that stuff, but I don't care because I don't do debt, so that doesn't bother me. It's really good. Not sponsored, although I probably am going to try and get a sponsorship from them because I really like them. All right, let's read a little bit of chat, and then we will wrap it out here. Chick-fil-A has my favorite salad, though. Salad? I don't know. Chick-fil-A is awesome. I love Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is amazing. Let's see. While Jeb is praising the corn rises. Yes, no, for sure. Bitcoin is doing well. Like I said, we're going to most likely see Bitcoin hit, $100,000 very soon. Nirvana Republic said, proof it. Proof what? I don't know. Happy New Year, Jeb. May you and your family have a God blessing 2025. Amen. God's always blessing us. Every day I wake up with breath in my lungs and I see the blessing that God has given me and I thank him for it. Don't thank him enough for it. I try and thank him as much as I can and it's still not as much as I should. Love KFC though. KFC is pretty good. I do like KFC too. All right. I'm going to go to Facecam here just for a second to see what the beard poll came back as. I know you can't see anything. Interesting. 66% of you guys said keep the beard. That's startling. That's wow. I'm impressed. I did not expect that. That's crazy. All right, cool. Might do it. I do like the beard. I do like it. Maybe I'll get some beard oil and just kind of... Any of you guys that have beards, it's been a while. It's been probably 5 years since I've let my beard grow out this long. If I do grow it out, I'll probably let it grow out a lot longer than this. Any of you guys that do have beards, drop some tips in the chat about how to best take care of it. So it looks the best, it's the healthiest, all of that. Love to hear your input on that because I know there's a lot of you guys out there that have beards that have probably got a lot more understanding about that than I do. SpongeBob SquarePants said, my philosophy, never loan money to your children. If they need help, give them the money and never expect to be repaid. This will prevent hard feelings in your family. After all, they didn't ask to be brought into this world. That was your choice. Yes, I don't loan people money. Am I saying I would never loan somebody money? Not necessarily. I might. I would certainly not charge them interest. But I will never, to the best of my ability, I'm not going to loan someone money because it hurts the relationship. Because we know that loaning someone money in particular, creates a slave and a master relationship. And that really screws up the relationship because all of a sudden it doesn't go from a friendship, it goes to a servantship relationship. So like you said, if you're going to give someone money, give it to them. Don't loan it to them. Boar's hair brush is fantastic on my beard. Cool. Look into that. Let's see here. Yeah. No, guys, I want to heavily encourage you guys to make good decisions when it comes to finances, when it comes to money. It will bless you radically. We've been through, as you guys know, a lot of health hardship over the last several months. And it doesn't necessarily look like the end is anywhere in sight with that. But what I do know is that because of the wise financial decisions that my wife and I have made and that I made before we were married and that she was making before we were married, we have the ability now that if I needed to step away from work or work very little for, heck, years, I could do that. Obviously, it would cost money, but I could do that because we've made the right decisions. And so we have the capability to do that. When we make those good financial decisions, it allows a blessing into our life. It is a blessing for me to be able to say, hey, I'm not going to work right now. I'm going to go to, this doctor's appointment. I'm going to be able to go to this thing. I'm going to be able to take off and take my wife out for a lunch date, whatever. It gives a financial blessing to be able to say, yeah, I can afford to provide a cool Christmas for my kids and look out in the backyard. Look at that. We got a new trampoline, right? We got a new trampoline this year. We discovered a game called Earthquake, which is where daddy jumps as hard as he possibly can. And my son's just bouncing around like ba-boing, ba-boing, ba-boing. Poor kid's like smacking his face on the trampoline like, Daddy, stop. And I'm like, okay, I'll stop. You told me to. We respect the word no in our home. Right, consent's important. So, but we're playing with the new trampoline. I'm like, I was able to provide this trampoline. My wife went and bought it because we buy everything 75% off. We got an $800 trampoline for $180. Awesome deal, right? I was able to provide this trampoline for my family, and my wife was able to, go and get it. And I was able to put it together on Christmas Eve night, and we were able to do that because I've made wise financial decisions. I'm not sitting here with my pockets out saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, kiddos. I got you. Oh, I got you a green bean for Christmas. Well, you won't go hungry, right?" Because I've made wise financial decisions and because of the blessings of God. And so I'm encouraging you to please do that. It's important. It is very, very, very important that you get your money right. And if you haven't, do it now. I'm not one for New Year's resolutions. I think they're a load of crap. I make resolutions about how to grow as often as I can. I don't wait for a new year. But if you are in the business of making New Year's resolutions, or you're just like, hey, I want to make my life better, make a decision today to go to war with your financial picture and say, I'm in charge now, and I'm going to follow the right principles that God laid out in the Bible, that Jeb summarized in what he calls the laws of money, and I'm going to actually live that way. I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to choose to be financially sovereign. I'm going to live on less than I make. I'm going to have a plan. I'm going to follow it. Just like Dave Ramsey says, adults devise a plan and follow it. Children do what feels good, right? That's so correct. So correct. That's the entire essence of the third law of money. The fifth law of money, I'm going to save and invest so that my future can be more prosperous than my present, and I am going to be radically generous because we know that God pours out a blessing on the generous who do it with the right heart. Not those that are generous because they want a return. If you want a return and you want to talk about getting a return on your money, go be investors. When we're generous because we genuinely want to help people, and that's our primary reason. That is our motive. That is our reason. Just because we want to help someone. Not because we're seeking anything in return, but just because we want to help and we want to see somebody succeed, and we like the joy that comes from seeing them succeed, that they receive and that we receive, then you will have a blessing poured out on you, either in this life or the next, sometimes only in the next, but you will be blessed for that. So please, let's make a choice this year to actually do what is right, to do what is good, to do what is just, and let's do what we need to do to make sure that we have a better 2025 than we had a 2024. I love it. Aldo Nino donated $5, said, "Good morning, Jeb. Would you mind looking into Telcoin this stream?" And Kryptoni also said, S4912 Bitcoin Act of 2024 introduced to Congress to establish reserve and purchase 1 million Bitcoin. Yep, that's true. Let's start off with that S4912. See if we can't find that. This was put forward a little while ago. I don't think this is new. This was a, let's see, Axios has something on it here. Yes, as I suspected, this is Cynthia Loomis's bill. Yes. So this is going to most likely be looked at a lot more under the new administration. This is the kind of the idea. They want to buy 200,000 Bitcoin. Cynthia Loomis wants to buy 200,000 Bitcoin every year for 5 years to acquire 1 million Bitcoin, which is most likely going to happen. It's most likely going to happen. And Trump is most likely going to be one of the people that front runs this. It's coming. I mean, it's real simple. It's going to come. It happened several months ago. July 31st, I'm reading. But it's just going to happen. I don't see it not happening. I don't see this not passing. As I said, the nations of the world understand the importance of having a strong currency, and strong currencies are backed by strong commodity reserves, which is why the United States holds an oil reserve. It's why we hold a gold reserve. It's why we invest so much money in the creation of farmland, right? You know why everything has high fructose corn syrup in it? Because the United States subsidizes the living hell out of corn production. Why? To keep the farmland. So the farmland stays farmland, so that we have the ability to grow our own food. Everything has high fructose corn syrup in it because the farmers grow corn, and they're paid by the government, and they need something to do with the corn syrup, so they stick it in the food, because otherwise the corn would just go bad. Why does the government do that? One, to stimulate the agricultural industry, but why are they stimulating the agricultural industry? Not just to make jobs, they're stimulating it so that we maintain the ability to grow our own food. Is it good for our health? No. Does it make sense when you think about it from, why are they doing that? They're doing that so that we maintain strong commodities. We maintain strong amounts of corn growth. The government does understand that the stronger the commodity, the stronger our ability to produce, manage, store, and convert into useful assets with the commodities, to the extent that we're able to do that through manufacturing and growth and extraction and all of that, we are a stronger nation, which is why they do that with corn. And so the government understands commodities are the way that you succeed. on a global stage. They underpin a strong economy. And so Bitcoin will be adopted by the United States government. It will come very soon also. The government has realized this. Good morning, Jeb. Would you mind looking at a Telecoin this stream? Let's take a look. Why not? Telecoin is currently trading at a half of a penny, market cap at 500 million. It is number 221. You can tell I have children now. 221. I love that. Our 1-year-old Charity, she loves gummies right now, and she calls them duppies. And she says the same thing 10,000 times until she gets it. She's in the backseat going, duppies, 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 duppies. It's the cutest thing in the world. But when you're around kids as much as I am, because I have kids, then you end up saying things like 221. 211th place on CoinMarketCap. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of charts that look like this. I've talked about this before. I don't like charts that, I call this a stick in the mud chart. We rallied one time, crashed right back down to where we started. There's no uptrend. We just rallied a bunch, crashed right back down to where we started. Telecoin was very big at a time. Low cost, high quality financial products for every mobile phone user in the world. Cool. I'm not... See, here's the other issue. The Telecoin wallet reimagines remittances for a digital, globally connected world. Send fiat remittances from more than 20 countries and growing across the globe for 2% or less in total fees. There's a lot of other ways you can send transactions internationally without having to do that. You can send it in USDC for nothing. Will it grow? Probably, because rising tides lift all ships. Is it going to do well this cycle? Probably, but I don't know enough about Telecoin to really know why. I would love to hear your opinion on why. I'm not trying to put it down. I'm not sure that, let me put it this way. I'm not sure that it is the leader in the application that it is professing to be in. I think that there are a lot of other applications that do what Telecoin does, but better. And so that's where I think that you're going to see a lot of the altcoins weed themselves out, and you're going to see about 20 or 30 altcoins really take charge, and they're going to be each of the leaders in their individual asset class, or in really big asset classes like layer 1 applications. You're going to see 2, 3, maybe even 4. That's why you see Cardano, Solana, and Ethereum all doing about the same thing, and they've all got their own market caps. But they also rank order themselves based on adoption, which is why Ethereum's the biggest, Solana's the second, and Cardano's the third. So not the biggest fan of Telecoin, but like I said, it probably will get caught up in the bull market, and it might go back to its all-time high. If it did, that's a 10x. So look at it. It may do well, but I'm not personally going to be buying any. Thanks for all your work in these years. Hendrik said, thank you so much. Kokulinski, that's a cool name. Hey Jeb, can you look at my super chat if you have time? If you don't have time to stream, it's fine. No, it's okay. We don't mind. We don't mind. Not in any way trying to put down your investment. Just not sure that I see the point. But feel free to tell us what you think. They filed to be a digital bank here in the U.S. and Nebraska. Great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Eric is in chat, said, you rock, Jeb. God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The U.S. needs to abolish taxes on Bitcoin to spur spending your Bitcoin, or it'll be impossible to acquire 1 million Bitcoin. I think they'll be able to acquire it. It'll be hard, but I think they can do it. And when they do it, it's going to explode the price, because that much buying pressure mandated by law, you're going to see a 5-year bull market on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will quadruple in value. Sorry, not quadruple in value, 10x in value. Smash the likes and subscribe. That's right. Yeah, hit the like button, folks. It's free and fun and truly supports this channel. Guys, also make sure if you've not already to check out our sponsors. Uphold's Vault is a great place to store your Bitcoin. NordVPN is a great place to protect yourself as you browse online. Also make sure to check out, and I'll be putting this up tomorrow, but there is a new, let me see if I can go ahead and put this actually in the description right now. There is a new Blowfin campaign going on right now that I want you guys to see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put this in the description box. I meant to do that a little bit earlier. Let's go right here. Where is it? There is a massive competition going on right now for us on Blowfin. It's the 2025 Become a Whale Challenge. $200,000 in prize pool is available. This is amazing. If you guys have not already, make sure to sign up with the link in the description box down below, and you can join our team and start trading. And if you get to enough trading volume, you will unlock huge rewards. Very soon, we're going to see $8,000 in USDT unlock as a reward. After we get to $500 million of USDT of trading volume, you're going to see $40,000 unlock. $40,000. That's a ton of money of rewards. And this, by the way, this is a much smaller competition. There's a lot less people in this competition than in the last one. So the prize pool is likely going to be a lot bigger for each individual person. Right now, there's only like 900 people in here. The last trading competition had like 30,000 people in it. So this $200,000 is going to go between a lot less, like much less than 20% of the people, which means you're going to see a huge amount of people, a huge amount of rewards. So jump on in here, get into this trading competition. The 2025 Become a Whale Challenge is a $200,000 trading challenge. Sign up with our link in the description box down below, and you'll be able to get access to this if you're looking to trade and make money here in this coming rally, because a big rally's coming. This is the best place to be. Sign up today, get signed up, get logged in, make sure you're set up here in this trading challenge so that when the bull market does kick back off over the next 18 days, because it's about another 18 days on this competition, there's going to be big rallies on Bitcoin during that time. A lot of trading opportunity. Not only will you be able to make a lot of money using the best platform for trading in the cryptocurrency space right now, which is Blowfin. It's the place to be. Everybody's there. You should be there too. It is also going to allow you, as you succeed in some of your trades over the next couple of weeks, to be entered into this prize pool and win hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in rewards. So make sure you sign up with the link in the description box down below right now. Boom. Love the frozen camera. Just absolutely awesome. Yes, the camera is definitely acting up today. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you did enjoy today's stream. Oh, hi. I hope you did enjoy today's stream. If you did enjoy today's stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content. We've got a lot of new exciting content coming this new year as we get right back into full steam ahead mode. If you enjoyed today's stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, sign up for Blowfin. And before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.